Good morning, guys. Welcome back to another video. Thank you so much for joining me. So after last week's video about calcium, of course, the next natural subject would be bone health, since calcium is so associated with bone health, since, our bones are like pretty much made of calcium. But a lot more factors go into bone health than just calcium. And we're gonna go over a lot of those factors in today's vlog while I show you guys an example of a day of what I eat to take good care of my bones and even build my bone mineral density. Since this can be such a controversial and misunderstood topic, I'm really excited to get into this with you guys today. So generally speaking, it's accepted that bone mass peaks at around age 28, which was last year for me. My youth. And then through the rest of your 20s and your 30s and some of your 40s, it slowly declines. And then when women hit menopause, it starts to sharply decline. And we usually end up losing about 1 to 2% of bone mass per year. But whether or not that has to happen and whether or not that's actually like a dangerous thing is up for debate. And we'll be talking about that a lot later on. As I've said before, as with everything in life, bone health is about balance. You have to balance your bone building with your bone breakdown. So bones, even though they're like hard and we think of them as permanent, they are actually constantly being broken down and built up and reshaped to accommodate our stress patterns and our lifestyle needs. Healthy bone metabolism is incredibly important to bone health over our lifetime. Unfortunately, what tends to happen to a lot of people in my home country, the United States of America, is that they don't achieve that balance. And they end up experiencing significantly more bone loss than bone gain over the course of their lifetime. It doesn't have to be that way. So let's go over some of the most common causes of lifelong bone loss. First and foremost, sitting kills. Sedentary lifestyles lead to bone loss. If you're not using your bones, if you're not putting stress on your bones regularly, you are losing your bones. Next one, animal protein. Animal proteins are acidifying. They cause low-grade body-wide acidosis. It stresses the kidneys. It affects our calcium metabolism. And in that state, for whatever reason, bone loss is virtually unavoidable. I would like to read you a quote from the book Better Bones, Better Body. This is found on page 124 down at the bottom. Ideally, protein intake should be balanced with calcium intake. However, we consume too much protein and too little calcium. For example, those consuming 45 grams of protein, 1/2 of what we generally consume, and 500 milligrams of calcium, the amount we generally consume, have been found to be in positive calcium balance. This means their protein intake did not cause a loss of calcium from the body. When protein intakes increased to a more typical 95 grams, calcium is lost from the body, even on a very high calcium diet. As summarized by noted osteoporosis authority, Dr. Robert Heaney, at low sodium and protein intakes, the calcium requirements of an adult may be as little as 450 milligrams per day, whereas if her intakes of both nutrients is high, she may require as much as 2,000 milligrams of calcium per day to maintain balance. And then, of course, in the calcium video, we discussed the EPIC Oxford study that found differences between meat eaters, vegetarians, and vegans and bone fracture risk. And I highly suggest you go back and watch that video, but very basically, as long as vegans are getting just a baseline of calcium, more than 525 milligrams per day, we don't have any increased risk of fracture. And this research would suggest that plant-based diets are superior to omnivorous diets for bone health. Next up, phosphorus. I talked about this briefly in the calcium video, but it must be said again. Phosphorus and calcium need to be in balance. But the standard Western diet that's high in animal products and junk foods, especially soda, has a much higher ratio of phosphorus to calcium than is natural, normal, or healthy. The easiest thing you can do is eliminate the junk food and eliminate the animal products. Sodium and sugar. Again, sodium is found in processed foods and it is added to and found naturally in animal foods as well. Predominantly whole plant food diet, keep an eye on your seasoning habits, and you will be in a much healthier sodium place for your bones. Refined sugar inhibits the absorption of calcium and it increases urine output of many bone building minerals like calcium. And if you do like the worst thing ever and add your refined sugar to a source of caffeine, you're really not doing yourself any favors. So again, we talked about this in the calcium video. Caffeinated beverages are not always bad for you. Unless they're energy drinks, those things are poison. Don't drink them. But things like black coffee, unsweetened, and green tea or other types of teas are generally speaking very healthy. And energy drinks, just don't do it. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. Alcohol, tobacco. They're horrible for your whole body. So I don't think anyone is surprised that they're bad for your bones too. Anti-nutrients, we've talked about these many, many times, so I'll just gloss over it. Be aware of your oxalate and tannin intake. Stress. Cortisol, the primary stress hormone, erodes bones. It literally sucks calcium and other minerals out of your bones. Do what you need to do to manage the stress level in your life. Weak digestion. If there is not enough stomach acid in your stomach, calcium can't be broken down, it can't be prepared for absorption, and it can't be absorbed properly. Toxins. Heavy metals like lead, mercury, cadmium, aluminum, do your best to avoid them, and that means doing things like avoiding pesticides. Be careful what you eat out of. Most pots and pans in restaurants are made out of aluminum, just saying. And buy supplements, superfoods, and spices from responsible sources. Also do your best to avoid hormone-disrupting chemicals. Avoid drinking or eating out of plastics. At this point, avoid drinking all water, avoid breathing. I feel like we as a collective, wellness movement have talked about this a lot, so I'm not going to go too in depth, but control what you can. Many types of drugs contribute to bone malformation and bone density loss. Corticosteroids. It's estimated that 20% of osteoporosis cases are directly caused by corticosteroid use. Overly prescribed thyroid hormones, aluminum-containing antacids or any antacids that dilute the stomach's acidity, as well as chemotherapy drugs, anticonvulsants, the birth control Depo-Provera, they're all known to cause bone problems. And last but not least, because I really want to drive this point home for you guys, dieting causes bone loss. Calorie-restrictive diets are nutrient-restricted diets by definition. We wonder why, in this country, women are so prone to osteoporosis, and surely hormones are a part of that picture. But my God, most of us spend the majority of our lives going back and forth between trying to starve our bodies into a certain shape, and then falling off the bandwagon and eating a bunch of nutrient-void junk food. We don't feed ourselves. And we're surprised when our bodies can't cope? So for the love of your body, for the love of your bones, give up the calorie restriction. Nourish yourself with nutrient-dense whole plant foods. Allow your body to take in and absorb what it needs so that it can be strong and dense and heavy. Okay? Okay, you guys. Speaking of calories and nutrient-dense whole plant foods, I need to go put some in my face right now. I am fueled up on alkalizing whole plant foods, and now that we know what not to do for bone health, let's talk about what we should do to increase and promote the health of our bones. So if you believe the dairy industry, then you think that all you have to do to have strong, healthy bones is drink milk and get calcium. Right? Yeah, maybe just ask like the hundreds of millions of milk drinkers who got osteoporosis. That doesn't work. So in addition to calcium, you need magnesium, iron, zinc, boron, manganese, potassium, vitamin D, vitamin K, vitamin C, all the B vitamins. The moral of the story is that they work together synergistically. You can't just randomly megadose or mega supplement one or two of them and expect it to go well. And so to get the concert of nutrients that we need for true, lasting bone health, the most effective thing you can do is eat a whole plant food diet. If you watched my calcium video last week, you probably noticed that in addition to getting a huge amount of calcium, I also got tons of virtually every other necessary mineral. There is one mineral, though, that you don't need too much of, and that's sodium. A bone-healthy diet is a low-sodium, high-potassium diet, and just FYI, that's a whole plant food diet. A whole plant food diet is also a really alkalizing diet, and as we've gone over, you want your body to be in a balanced state. So you don't want it to be too acidic. You also don't need it to be too alkaline. Your body finds its balance when you give it the inputs that it likes. Whole plant foods. On this type of diet, you do need to make sure that you're getting enough healthy fats. I've made videos about fat and healthy fats and omega-3s, and I will link them all around and in the description. The important thing is that in order to be properly absorbed, calcium requires a little bit of dietary fat. That's because when digested, those minerals have to be broken down by the stomach acid, and then they're kind of like combined with fat, and they form something that's almost like a soap. It's really weird. And then it's absorbed through the duodenum, or the beginning of your small intestine. But if you get too much fats, like trans fats especially, those can impede the absorption and utilization of calcium in the body. So again, we just come back to balance and eating the foods that our bodies are designed to thrive with. In addition to great diet, exercise is so important for bone health. So high impact exercises like the short run that I did around my neighborhood really helps to build bone by stressing the bones. It kind of sends stress shock waves up through the bone shaft, and the bones will respond by breaking down bone that's not needed, building more bone where it is needed. It's really beautiful how responsive and particular our beautiful bones are. That kind of exercise, like virtually all exercise, is really great at pumping nutrient-rich blood all around the body as well. And when that blood is pumping, it's getting all into the bones. It's nourishing all of those bone cells, those osteocytes. It's making sure that the osteoblasts and osteoclasts are well taken care of so that our bones can continue to remodel in the exact ways that are needed. In addition to high impact aerobic type exercises, I think that weight training is one of the best things you can do for your bones. Strong muscles contract hard and they pull on your bones, and when they pull on those bones, they send stress through the bones, and those bone forming cells respond. Strong butt muscles make strong pelvises. Strong back muscles make strong vertebra. Strong hands and wrists and forearms make strong hands and wrists and forearms. Contracting muscles also produce chemicals called myokines. They're a type of cytokine, and certain types of myokines actually stimulate bone growth. So exercise and muscular contraction is great for your bones in so many ways. When I do weight training, oftentimes I will incorporate high impact weight training moves. So like you probably saw this morning when I did lunges, I stomped my foot on the ground. I did some jump squats where I stomped my feet on the ground when I came down. And that extra little bit of boom impact creates more stress on the bone and encourages denser, stronger bones. In fact, some researchers have gone so far as to say that women who exercise regularly will never have problems with osteoporosis type bone loss. That's huge. and it appears that all we have to do is exercise 3 or 4 times a week. Now, obviously, it's great if you can incorporate more movement into your overall lifestyle to take care of your bones and your joints and the rest of your health, but I'm not the type to frown on just doing the bare minimum either. So diet and exercise are huge, but there are also some other factors that are really important, like making sure you're getting vitamin D. So that means either getting out in the sun or taking a vitamin D3 supplement, a responsible dose, please no mega doses. Making sure that you are well hydrated so that your blood is nice and fluid and can carry important nutrients all over your body. And then we get to hormone balance. So this can be an issue for men if they don't have enough testosterone, but generally speaking, men are fairly protected from osteoporosis. At least they were in former generations where sedentary lifestyles weren't quite as extreme as they are now. So we shall see as the next couple of generations comes to middle age and further. But for women, hormones are a huge topic of discussion when it comes to bone health. As I mentioned earlier, when women hit menopause, their bone density starts to decrease quite dramatically by, say, 1 to 2% per year for the rest of their lives. Now, of course, women have especially dense bones to begin with so that they can, grow tiny humans during their reproductive years. So if you think about it, it kind of makes sense that once a woman is past her possibilities of reproduction, it's just kind of ridiculous to be carrying around extra calcium, so the body gets rid of what it doesn't need. So a small decrease in bone mass and bone density around menopause is totally natural and normal, and a lot of doctors agree that it's nothing to be super concerned about. However, of course, a lot of the women are not only going through menopause, but they may have had messed up hormones for most of their lives. So I've made some videos about hormonal health. As you guys know, I had great luck balancing my hormones, getting rid of symptoms of polycystic ovarian syndrome and endometriosis and all the other diagnoses that I was given over the years, simply by decreasing stress levels and eating a really great diet, getting plenty of rest and sleep, and taking just generally good care of myself. But of course, like so much of medicine, hormone issues are treated as an issue where, oh, well, we just have to add more hormones and it'll be fine. Low bone density is treated the same way. Oh, we just have to add more bone to it and we'll be fine. But let's discuss for a moment that low bone density does not equal weak or fragile bones. Less dense bones can still be incredibly strong and flexible and well nourished. All 3 of those make them really great at withstanding stress that could cause fracture. Fragile, brittle bones are undernourished bones. It could be that they're undernourished because there's not enough calcium in the diet, because the body is acidified, because they're dehydrated, because they're sedentary. Whatever the reason, bones only become weak and fragile when bone metabolism slows down. So like I was saying earlier, bones are always breaking themselves down and building themselves back up. This is a process that really genuinely needs to be encouraged. The medical industrial complex has come up with a fix for low bone density, which is using drugs like Fosamax. These drugs slow down bone breakdown so that there's more bone buildup than breakdown. You would think that this would be a great thing because it results in more dense bones. However, it slows down the bone's ability to reshape itself to accommodate stress. So the bones do end up getting denser, but they actually become more brittle and fragile. Many studies have been done on drugs like Fosamax, and they found that your risk of fracture goes up after taking these drugs. In fact, a lot of dentists refuse to work on people who take Fosamax because there's such a high chance that just that little bit of pressure of pushing on the jaw could break the jawbone. So diet, exercise, hydration, rest, sleep, getting your hormones balanced, and avoiding drugs that are supposed to help are great bone building practices to participate in. Talking about bone health gets me so hot. And always, always remember that it is never too early and it is never too late to start building bone mass. Studies have shown that people who start exercising in their teens have a big boost in bone mass. So make sure that you optimize your ability to build bone while you're young and start exercising and eating right now. I know I have a lot of younger viewers. I'm talking to you guys. And for my viewers who have gone through menopause and may be worried about their bone mass, do not fret. You can build bone mass at any age. That is proven scientifically. The key is great diet and great exercise habits. Okay guys, I will see you later for the next time I take in my whole plant foods for the day. Okay, lunchtime. I have this curry that I made last night, and then, sorry guys, it's raining really hard right now. The audio quality might not be the best, but I noticed last vlog that my selenium was a little bit low on the chronometer, so I'm gonna have a couple of Brazil nuts. Almost 100% of your daily selenium in just one Brazil nut. But this one's a little bit small, so I'm gonna have 2. And then I'm gonna enjoy this oil-free, almost fat-free curry, because instead of using coconut milk or coconut cream to like thicken and make my curry creamy, I blend tofu, almond milk, and a little bit of shredded coconut in the Vitamix, get it like pretty much almost creamy, and then pour that in after my curry has cooked in the Instant Pot, and it comes out so good. And if you buy tofu that has been processed with calcium, then it is a very calcium rich food. Otherwise, you can just rely on the yummy ingredients like, sorry, I lost my train of thought, like broccoli and the other healthy whole plant foods that find their way into this curry. So I'm going to fill up on this, and I will see you guys later. Hi. Yeah, I got you. Just my cute husband. And there is my good-looking dinner. So one of my favorite ways to get plenty of bone-building minerals is to saute a bunch of veggies, dry or water saute those, and then I come up with some kind of sauce. Today's sauce was just coconut sugar, a splash of rice vinegar, and about 2 teaspoons-ish of white miso paste. And I just fold that into the veggies with lots of garlic and ginger, of course, and then I just have more of the leftover curry because I made so much of it and it's so good. So, does this look acceptable to you?
Oh, I was just eating that.
Thank you. I think it's my hair. Can you hold it up?
Yeah.
Alright you guys, so that is it for today's What I Eat in a Day. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all learned heaps about how to keep your bones healthy on a plant-based or vegan or any kind of diet. And as always, make better choices for yourself and your bones. Nobody's gonna do it for you, and take really, really good care. I thought I was holding it. I'll see you guys next week. Bye! And now that we know what not to do for bone health, it's